pretty fucking hard. Now, the thing I really hate these days is the way we treat swearing. I mean, I swear, I'm sure you all swear, and my son is learning to swear. He's 3 years old, and he can already say crap and god damn it, and it's not from South Park, that's just from watching me play on the PlayStation. God knows what he's learning from driving with my wife in peak hour traffic. But despite the fact that we do actually all fucking swear, is that our employers insist on being really puritanical about it, and they employ software that will scan your emails and look for rude words, and then it'll penalise you for using them. And so we condition ourselves to use stars and exclamation points and little @ signs just to fool the software so we can say what we really want to say. I mean, what's the F-starking point in that? I mean, if some ITB @ wants to F-starking censor my emails, why be so bloody mean? There's really just no point. The thing about when you've sort of lived a few decades and you watch the news, you actually notice these kinds of bits of meanness that just crop up every decade or so. The same stories just kind of repeat themselves. I'll give you an example. Music makes you deaf. Fact. When I was a kid, they told me that hard rock and heavy metal would make me deaf. In fact, there was a whole generation of deaf kids waiting to grow up to be adults, and everyone's going to be deaf in the future. Now, can you guys hear me? Well, somebody's a pack of lying bastards. It's either the media or it's you. Which is it? But the thing about this is that, like I said, every 10 years or so, the same story would come up. Like 30 years ago, they invented the Walkman, and my parents wouldn't buy me one because they heard reports that these Walkmans would drive kids deaf. And then a few years later, the CD Discman came out, and the same story came back again because apparently clearer sound means faster deafness. And now, of course, you've got the iPod. So not only we have clear sound, faster deafness, but you can also have it in 80 gigabit packages, so you don't have to listen to the same song twice before you lose your hearing. And the thing about iPods is that there's been a twist to the story recently where they say that iPods are contributing to the pedestrian road toll. And the theory is that if you're plugged in, you'll just step out, you won't hear cars coming, and you're out of the gene pool. Now, if this is true, then we really, really need to examine the way we teach our children, because apparently look right, look left, look right again is completely useless. What we should be saying is, look, unplug your earphones and step out blindly, because your hearing will save you. The other thing that they say about iPods is that they're really antisocial. I don't think so. I mean, if I see a friend, I'm going to unplug and I'm going to talk to them. But if a random stranger comes up to me and starts talking to me, they're one of two things. They're either completely insane or trying to sell me religion. Oh no, wait, that's one thing. And the only way to deal with those people is to be a little bit more insane than them. And so you say things like, the carrots are the rulers of the world, and I can talk to God through dead cats, and if you use tinfoil hats, they make really good toilets. And hopefully they'll just go, well, you're a little bit more insane than me, and just kind of move on. But that story about music making you deaf just comes back all the time. It's this mean little thread that runs through the history of our media. And it's the same story as TV will rot your brain, porn will make you a rapist, tunes will make you violent and homicidal. Now, I'm 40 years old. I love hard rock, I love porn, and I love cartoons. Yet I am not a violent, retarded sex maniac who can't hear anything. That's completely false. My hearing's fine. Speaking of trash in the media, though, one good thing has come out of Michael Jackson's death, and that is there was finally music videos playing on MTV again. Because I remember music television was what MTV was called, music television. But now it's 24 hours of Jackass and My Super Sweet 16 and look, Mum, I'm on a national dating show trying to get a date when I'm obviously patently too stupid to breed. But whenever these pundits are on talking about Michael Jackson, they always go for, let's remember him for and not. Now, you know how that goes. Let's remember him for the music, the dance, the talent, blah, 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 and not the insert the scandal here. But I'm sorry, CNN, if you play one music video and then spend 45 minutes talking about the child sex scandals, then you've missed that boat. And if you think you're on it, you've jumped overboard. Try to remember where I'm up to now. Michael Jackson, the next thing, global warming. Global warming, I think the media have got that wrong as well. They kind of treat it like it's about a disaster movie. Like if you're watching the news and they talk about global warming, you half expect Tom Cruise to pop up and hear a little voiceover. One man, ready to take it to the world. Take the war and make it cooler. Though, if they really were trying to make it cooler, Tom Cruise would not be your first choice. And Earth Hour. There's really not much point to Earth Hour. You turn off your appliances for 1 hour out of the year. That's 0.01%. It really doesn't do anything. If we really want to take the fight to global warming, we need to actively cool the planet. Fortunately, I have a plan. What we need to do during Earth Hour is have sex. Now, men, so women in the audience, feel free to think about shoes and just not listen. Men, you need to meticulously plan to have sex during Earth Hour. There's plenty of time to romance your lady, ample time for foreplay, 2-3 minutes, whatever it takes. And then, on the dot of 8:30, men, as a worldwide group, we all need to, and the premature ejaculators among you may need to stay at 8:29 and a half, but all as one unit, all at 8:30, we all need to go for the wrong hole. Now, I have tried unplanned, unwelcome and unlubricated anal sex, and trust me, the temperature in my bedroom went down by 10 degrees. Imagine that by the population of the Earth. We could kill global warming in one session. We have to be really careful. Because we could trigger another ice age. Yeah, and which is best describe what happened to my bedroom after the fact. So, this meanness, like sometimes it has a point. Like they believe in what they're saying. People want to take away music because they think it's evil. It's like living in a footloose town, or they want to change the language because it's rude, or it would be nice to people, not Michael Jackson because he didn't really deserve it. But then some other people are unnecessarily mean. And I'll give you an example. When I was about 19, I had a run-in with a tube of deep heat. And you know where this is going. Well, I didn't know where it went. In the dark, I confused it for a tube of KY jelly. And so I smeared it liberally upon myself. I should probably do this and play it up a little. But I smeared it liberally on myself, and then a few seconds later I thought someone had lit fire to my cock. And I scream and jump out of bed, and I run through the house, and I'm banging into walls and knocking over furniture. I get into the bathroom, I grab the shower nozzle, turn it right around to cold, put it on my dick until it turns blue, which is about when my wife stopped laughing and I stopped crying. And in retrospect, it's bloody funny. I mean, it wasn't fun at the time, but it's a funny story. So, I was working in an office, and I was working with about 80 women, and 3 guys, of which I was one, and I told this story. And the laughter was insane. Everyone just cracked up. They thought it was the funniest thing ever, except one woman who, when the laughter died, when there was silence, said, "Well, if you needed to use lubricant, you must be shit in bed." Why did you need to add insult to my not insignificant injury? It was 6 hours before I got another erection. I was 19, that's like 6 weeks. I was a C-star aunt. I often wonder what that woman's doing these days. I suspect she's just driving around Auckland looking for people wearing iPods so she can run them over and tell them it's their own fault. Thank you.